Bonjour, welcome to Wahsa Citizen Education Center's radio Zoom classes. This is MEL3E, grade 11 workplace math, and I am Bronwyn Slate. This is a pre-recorded lesson, so you can't participate live today. You can listen on the radio at 91.9 FM or on the television at Bell Expressview channel 972, but you can't call in and ask me questions because I'm not here, nor can you use the Zoom link to access the lesson. We will be back to our regular live version in our next class. All right, so our classes are scheduled on Monday through Thursday from 9 till 10 in the morning, and we are in week 3 of our 9-week course. At this point, you should be considering to submit some work for marking. So the support questions, the ones marked with a pencil icon, are not for marking. They are just practice questions. So they're really good to do, but they don't need to be submitted. So you decide which ones and how many to do. If you understand a concept, feel free to skip questions. That's totally fine. You know what's best for you. But if you need more practice, please ask and I will send you more practice. The key questions, the ones marked with a little key icon, are the ones to submit for grading. So please do all of these questions, showing all of your work, your steps, your thinking. This way I can understand what it is that you are doing. And if you're making mistakes, I can figure out where they are, or I can just give you credit for all of your knowledge. There are 3 methods for submitting your work. The first is to scan your work in and send it electronically. So you can scan your completed work in with a smartphone. If you have an iPhone, the Notes app works. And if you have an Android, the Google Drive app has a scan function as well. I'm happy to help you if you're not sure how to do that. Or if you want to just take pictures instead, that is fine to do as well. Just that those files are going to be a bit bigger than if you were to scan them. Then you can send it to me either through email to studentwork@nnec.on.ca and CC it to bronwyn.slate@nnec.on.ca. Or you can send it to me through Facebook Messenger at bslatewahsa. Second method is to drop your work off in Sioux Lookout. So we have an outdoor mailbox at our location 74 Front Street. We're the bright red building next to the post office, and we have a small white mailbox next to our side entrance. So you can just put it in there at any time. The third method is to hand in your work to your DEC. Your DEC can either send your work through the Express or fax it to 807-737-1732 or toll-free fax to 1-800-463-7852. If you'd like to connect with me through social media, both my Facebook and my YouTube channel are under the Slate Wahsa. All of our radio Zoom classes are uploaded shortly after airing, and they're put in a playlist there called MEL3E, so our course code. You can find all of our lessons there. Also, there are short videos that explain common errors or confusing concepts, both from this course and the other courses. So if you're struggling with something, it might be a good place to go and check out. There might be an explanation there that is helpful before searching other places or before reaching out, just because you can access it at any time. Still totally fine to reach out if you have questions. Math is a really visual subject, so I strongly encourage you to check out the videos. If you're listening on the radio, that's great, but you're not going to get the full experience if you can't see what it is that I'm doing, as well as my examples and the graphics and things like that I have on my screen. So either joining us live through Zoom or watching the replays on YouTube are really going to set you up for the most success. If you don't have reliable internet, please let me know, and then I can send you a copy of the recordings so that you can still access the videos. If you have any questions and concerns, please reach out to me. This is why I'm here. I try to check in with you, but there are more of you than there are of me. So it's best to advocate for yourself and reach out if you have questions. My email address is bronwyn.slate, which is spelled BRONWYN.SLATE@nnec.on.ca. My Facebook is bslatewahsa. You can call me at the office at 807-737-1488, extension 2209, or at 1-800-667-3703. My office hours are Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. So this is when it is best to get a hold of me, or I'll get back to you within those hours if we misconnect. All right, today we're looking at lesson 8, which is from simple interest to compound interest. One thing to note about this lesson is that if you don't have access to a computer, let me know so that I can hook you up with an alternative to this lesson. This lesson walks you through using a spreadsheet, and if you don't have access to that, then it means that you can't do that part of the assignment. So just need to reach out to me. So at the end of this lesson, you will be able to explain compound. You can be able to create compound interest using a spreadsheet. So we're going to look at Excel or Google Sheets. So you can use either of those, and you will understand the differences between compound and simple interest. So you know you've met learning goals because you can use a spreadsheet to calculate compound interest, and you can explain the differences between compound and simple interest. Right, so let's first do a brain activation and some mental math to get ourselves going. Math minutes are something that many of us experienced in elementary school, and they didn't help us learn and become more comfortable with numbers. So we focus on developing strategies that use friendly numbers that you can use in various situations so that you are comfortable and confident with your use of numbers and your use of arithmetic. Our question today is 68 divided by 3. And we're going to be using the strategy of multiplying up. So what this means is that instead of doing long division or trying to figure out how many groups of 3 go into 68, we're going to go up. We're going to think of multiplying by 3 and figure out until we get to 68. So how I think of doing that is I want to say, well, I know that if I have 10 groups of 3, that means I have 30 things. So that is not enough yet, but I know that I have at least 10 groups. And I actually can see, well, if I have another 10 groups, or if I have 20 groups, I mean, that's 60 things. So I'm getting really close. So if I have 21 groups of 3, that's going to be 63. So not yet. So 3 times 22 groups is going to be 66. Still not yet. So 23 groups is going to be 69. Oh, that's too high. Too high. So that's too much. So that means it's going to be 22 groups plus a remainder of 2. Right? Because I need to have plus 2 in order to get 68. So I can get, 68 divided by 3 is 22 with a remainder of 2. And that's how you can use multiplying up to do division. Okay, what in prior learning do we need to know? Let's think about that. So we just need to talk a little bit about financial literacy because we're talking more about financials and understanding money, and financial literacy is something that we don't have figured out so much in our society. So just I want to look at a couple of statistics to sort of get a bit of a perspective of what. So 55% of Canadians have unsuitable numeracy skills. So that's in general, they may struggle with understanding written instructions that rely on charts, numbers, and conditional statements like if then. So that's not focused on financial literacy, but just in numeracy in general. And then 4 in 10 Canadians report money is a daily concern. So something that people are thinking about consistently, they're worried about. And 1/3 of low-income Canadians, so people who are on the lower end of the economic spectrum, that are worrying about money constantly. So this is something that's really wearing on people. Yet, nearly 6 out of 10 Canadian adults do not have a good idea of how much money they need to save to retire when in the way that they want. So they aren't making, that's over 50% of Canadian adults don't have a plan for their future. And less than half of Canadians have a budget. So this is something that we all should be having to managing our money. People who have a higher level of financial confidence tend to have better results in day-to-day money management and also debt management than those with lower levels of confidence. So hopefully we can boost your confidence a little bit. And about 4 in 10 Canadians say that they found ways to increase their financial knowledge, skills, and confidence in the past 5 years. So people are looking in that financial literacy is important and people are trying to learn more about it. So that's a positive thing in terms of the other ones, which are a bit scary. So 10 things you should know during times of financial uncertainty. We all have it. It happens to all of us. Sorry. But it's really good when it does happen in your life. Committing to a spending plan, so making a budget and following it is going to really help. Minimizing debt, so borrow only what you need. If you don't need to, if you don't have the money for it, then maybe you can't afford it. So you really need to be paying attention to that. Keeping track of your money. So I have been in times in my life where I just ignored it and I did not make it better. So really being able to deal with it and having a system to deal with it is what helped me manage my money. Protecting yourself from financial fraud is important. So being aware of all the scams that are out there and being critical when you see things that look too good to be true. They probably are and probably going to steal your money. Building good financial habits. So developing something that works well for you. It doesn't have to be the same thing everybody else is doing, but something that makes sense in your life. Understanding financial products and services. So being able to pay your bills and things like that. There might be some options that you can have. So talking to your bank can be really helpful in terms of if you have loans or a mortgage or things like that. If you need to, asking for help can be really useful. Setting aside, planning for the unexpected and setting aside money when you have money. If you're able to, if you're privileged enough to do that, that is really beneficial. And then just having financial goals, having a plan to pay your debt and checking your credit report can be really useful. In general, just to understanding what's going on with your money. So, oops, sorry. Just sort of keeping in context, this is a bigger picture issue, and the lessons that we're dealing with right now do have greater impact probably on your life, just because money can be daunting, but also really important. Okay, so let's dive into our new concepts. So when will I use this in real life? So we're going to be looking at patterns, and looking for patterns in math help us better understand the world around us. So being able to see those patterns helps us extend that information to other situations and to develop those critical thinking skills. Okay, first, we're going to do 2 investigations. We're going to see what happens in 2 situations. So first, looking at simple interest, which we did in our last lesson. So you're going to the bank with $1,000 to invest for 5 years. Bank A offers to pay you 5% simple interest for each year that you invest. This means they will pay 5% on the original amount invested for each year for the length of the investment. Okay, so let's figure out what that looks like. Let's calculate that. Let's fill in this chart to see how much money you would have after 5 years. So at the end of year 1 is what we're going to be looking at. So our starting balance is $1,000. So the balance that is calculated, remember, is always the original amount, how much you started with. So $1,000. So your interest earned is 1,000 times your rate, which is 5%, which is 0.05 for 1 year, because we're just doing it yearly right now. So 1,000 times 0.05 times 1 is $50. So your ending balance is $1,050. So at start 2 of year 2, you end up having, starting year 2, you have $1,550. Sorry. Your balance that you're calculating your interest on is still $1,000. This is still the same because simple interest is always done on the same, on that original principle. So your interest earned is still $50. So now we have $1,100 because we had $150 before, we've added 50, we've got $1,100. So our starting in year 3 is 1,100. Balance that we're calculating interest on is 1,000. So 5% of 1,000 is $50. So now we have $1,150. And then we're going to do the same thing for the fourth year, $1,150. $1,000 is what we're calculating our interest on. That's your original investment. So we make $50 in our fourth year. So we have $1,200. And then our fifth year, we have $1,200, how much we start with. We are calculating our interest on our principal of $1,000, how much we started with, for 5%, which is $50. So we have $1,250. So after 5 years, we have a total of $1,250 is what, because we make $50 each year for simple interest. Okay. So if we were to graph that and see how that's growing, we have here, I have a table of values that is just saying which year. Started in year 0, we had 0 interest. Year 1, we had $50 interest. Year 2, $100. Year 3, $150. Year 4, $200. Year 5, $250 is our total accumulated interest. So after 5 years, we have a total of $250 in interest. So we can see that this is a straight line. This is linear growth. We're increasing at the same rate each time. We're getting $50 every year, and we're increasing in a straight line. That's how that works. Okay, so that's simple interest. That's how we've done it before. There we go, straightforward, calculate interest on that original amount that you invested. But now your bank B offers you a different option, and they are going to pay you 5% compound interest for each year. So same, you're investing $1,000 for 5 years, and you're still doing 5%, but now it's compound interest. So this means that they will pay you 5% on the original amount invested, plus on any earned interest for each year for the length of the investment. So let's see what that looks like. So same chart. We're starting with $1,000. The balance that we're calculating interest on is $1,000. The interest earned is 1,000 times 0.05, 5% for 1 year is $50. And our ending balance is $1,050. Okay, that looks exactly the same as what we did before. So why are we doing it again? This is where it changes. So our starting balance, okay, $1,050. But now the balance that the interest is calculated on is now $1,050. It's not 1,000 anymore. With compound interest, we're getting interest on this $50 that we just made, on that interest that we just made. So when we're calculating our interest earned, we do the $1,050 times 0.05 plus 1, times 1. So now we're going to calculate it because I don't know it as well. So 5% of 1,050 is $52.50. So we add $52.50 to $1,050, and now we get $1,102.50. So now our ending balance becomes our starting balance for the next year. So it's $1,102.50. Okay, so now the balance that we calculated in year 3 is on $1,102.50. So when doing our interest earned, we have $1,102.50 times 5% for 1 year. You can use your calculator again. So this time we do $1,102.50 times 0.05 times 1 is equal to $55.13. $55.13. So now when we add this, the new interest that we amount to our ending balance, to how much we had before. So now we have $1,157.63 is how much money we have. So our starting balance in the beginning of year 4 is $1,157.63. And so the balance that we're calculating the interest on, we're earning interest on, is $1,157.63. So it changes every time for compound interest, which we're going to find 5% of that. So we're still calculating the same percentage, but our principal is changing each time because we add the interest that we had before. So we have $1,157.63 times 0.05% times 1 year is equal to $57.88. $57.88. So if we're going to add this, just because I don't want to make a mistake, I'm going to add it. So plus, so $57.88 plus $1,157.63 is equal to $1,215.48. Okay. Sorry, that's just, I screwed up my calculation because I did it wrong. I didn't do it wrong. I just rounded one place and didn't in the other place, and that's screwing me up. 51 cents. Okay. It's more cents. So you can see that we're increasing each time we're making more interest. And then finally, in year 5, $1,215.51 is how much we start with. And it's how much we are making interest on. $1,215.51 times 0.05 times 1 is equal to $1,215.51 times 0.05 times 1 is equal to $60.78. So if we add that to our balance, we have $1,276.29. So we can see in year 1, we started off earning $50, and in year 5, we've now earning $60.78. We haven't changed anything else. We haven't put in more money. It's just that we are earning more interest because we're earning interest on our interest. And that means that our money grows faster. So if we look at a table of values again, and we see those numbers that we just did. Okay. And then if we plot those points and connect a line, we can see now it's a little bit tricky to see. It still looks like a straight line, doesn't it? But if we plot our other line, so this pink line is from our simple interest, which was a straight line. And we see actually this line, the compound interest is curving. It's like a very small curve, it looks like at the beginning, because we're very close. But if we were to do this over more time, we would be able to see how much that's curving. It would be easier to see. But this compound interest, this blue line is curving. It's going up faster than the straight pink line, which is what it was for simple interest. And so after 5 years with compound interest, we've earned $26.28 more than we did with simple interest. And we didn't do anything different. It's just the compound interest makes us earn money on top of money, which gets us more money faster. Okay, so let's recap what the difference is. So with simple interest, we're based on the principal amount of the loan or deposit. So only the amount that we start with is what the interest is being calculated on. And this is linear growth. So it's straight line, constant growth. compound interest is based on the principal amount and the interest that accumulates on it every period. So compound interest is the principal and the interest makes interest. And this is exponential growth. So here is a graph that's zoomed out a little bit, and you can see that we're still starting at the principal, and the interest for simple interest is a straight line, and the compound interest increases rapidly. It has this big curve. This is just sort of zoomed out so you can see it for over a longer period of time. How you go and you get a lot more money compared to simple interest if you're investing. Okay, so how do we do this in a spreadsheet? And this is what your lesson walks you through. I'm going to show you what the lesson does. So the same steps that are in your Excel or in your IL book for Excel are what we're going to do. So first we need to open up an Excel spreadsheet. So to do that, we are going to, you know your computer best, hopefully, in terms of how you're going to open up an Excel spreadsheet. If you're a Mac or PC user, hopefully you can figure that out. And we're just going to pick a blank spreadsheet. That's all we want. Okay. So now I'm just going to come out of my PowerPoint so that we can sort of see the two at the same time. It's going to be a little bit awkward, but we can make it work, hopefully. Okay, so to start with, you're just going to follow these instructions, and I'm just going to show you. So we're going to make a spreadsheet. You open Excel, and you're going to double click. Oh yeah, this is just telling you how to open Excel. And then you're going to have some sort of thing. It may look like green opposed to this is an older version. It doesn't matter. So your cursor automatically starts in cell A1 here, and you're going to type in principal dollars, because that's, and then we're going to press enter, and then your cursor moves down here, and then you can move it up to C1. I pressed tab instead to move over to where I wanted it. That's fine. You can use the arrow keys, or you can use your cursor. You don't have to follow them exactly. It's just a matter of understanding. You can follow them exactly and it'll get you the right thing. But if you're comfortable with Excel, then you don't have to follow them exactly. Okay, so once we're in C1, we need to set that to 2 decimal places. So we're going to go to format. This isn't giving me format as an option. So we're going to go here to number is another option. And we're just going to click on money. And that is going to set it so that it's in dollars and that you have 2 decimal places. Then again, this is because it is a little bit of a newer version. It's slightly different than the one that is in your IL package. Then, so once we clicked on that number, now we're just going to type in 1,000, enter, and we can see that it has made it into money. Now we're going to go to A2, and we're going to type in interest rate, percent, over to C2, and we're going to type 5, because our interest rate is going to be for 5%, right? 1,000 is how much we started with, 5% is how much we have our interest rate is. Now we're going to type in our headings. So we're going to go to cell A4. We're going to give ourselves a little bit of a break, and we're going to type in year, principal, which is money, interest, which is money, and amount, which is money. You can make these a little bit bigger if you need to. You don't have to if you don't want to. Then we're going to go to A5 and we're going to type in 1 and press enter, and then 2 and press enter, and then 3, press enter, all the way down to A8. So the first 4 years. Then we're going to go to B5. And again, we're going to format to be money. So I'm going to press the money one. And we're going to type in 1,000 because our principal in year 1 is 1,000. Okay. Then the step is that we need to go to C5 and we're going to copy these exact formulas here. So Excel will do the math calculation for you, but you have to give them instructions. So here we're going to press equals. Putting in the equals means that it tells you, you're telling the computer that it has to be a formula. So it's important to put the equals in so that it knows to do the math for you. And then you can either type in B5 or you can click on B5 and it will get it. And then you're going to do the asterisk, which is Shift 8 to get the asterisk to say multiplying by 0.05 because it's 5%. And then you press enter. And then it says it calculated for you. It did $50 is how much interest it is. And then going over to the amount. So here we're going to press equals again. And we're going to do, you can type it. So B5, 5 plus C5. And it highlights the ones that you're talking about. And you press enter. And there we go. It added it together. And then you're going to go over to B6 and you're going to write equals and then D5 because we want that information to jump over to beginning of the principal in year 2. And then what you need to do is you're just going to copy them. So then you can Control C, Control V to copy and paste. And because what you're copying is not the numbers, but you're copying the formula. And so up here you can see that it has it's doing the formula in relationship to the cells. So it's not basing it off of the original one, it's basing it off on the cells in relationship to where this cell is. And then you just continue. Oops, sorry, you got to make sure you press enter when you clicked into a cell. Then you can highlight them all and you can pull them down, drag it and drop, and then it fills down and it's giving you the same formulas. So, or you can copy and paste them, or you can rewrite them, but copying and pasting makes the most sense, or filling down, just because that's the point, is that it's saving you time. So now you've done it. We formatted it already to 2 decimal places, so you don't need to do it because you're copying the same amount. If it, for some reason, it glitches, you can go back and format it to be money to change it so that you only have 2 decimal places. And then we want to continue it to 20 years. So what you can continue, you can type them up to 20 years. What I like to do is if you highlight and fill down 2 rows, it's going to continue. Your years are going to increase. If you only do 1 year, 1 row, it's going to just it's just going to copy that 1 row and just say that it's year 4 again. But if you do 2 rows, then it sees the pattern and it's going to fill down so that you can go all the way up to 20 years. And then all of the other ones copy and paste so that we still see the interest that's being accumulated each year, your principal that's changing each year, and then your final amount and how much it changes. So then you can, from there, now you have up to year 20. And so you can print off just this is all you need to print off. And then I can see that you're able to do it. It's okay that I don't see your formulas because I'm going to see the numbers and that's going to know whether you did the formulas right or not. And then you can answer the questions based on interpreting this data. So that's how you do it in Excel. If you're not using Excel, but you are going to use Google Sheets, it is very similar. Everyone has access to Google Sheets through their NNEC email address. If you need help getting into that, let me know. You just need to sign in with your email address and your password. And then Google Sheets. This is the icon. You're going to click on the screen one, and you're going to put blank a new one. And then you're going to do the same thing. So you can follow the same steps. They're going to be slightly different just because the menus are slightly different, but still you type in principal, that's money, but you use it very similar in terms of pressing enter or shift. Here you can go to format, does it have, and you go to number, and that you want it to be accounting, that you want it to be money. Oh, not accounting, sorry. You don't want to be accounting, you want it to just be money. So 1,000, and they put it in with decimal places, and then your interest rate, which is a percent, is 5. And then you could do the same thing in terms of labeling year, principal, which is money, interest, which is money, and amount, which is money. And then the exact same way. So you can just, you still do 1, 2, 3, 4. Your principal is still 1,000. Your formulas are still the same. So you still put in equals, and then you can do your principal times, which is still shift 8 to get your asterisks, times 0.05, enter, still calculates it. This one I forgot to formulate as money, so it didn't do it. So you have to click on money, your money sign, to make it money. It's not the end of the world if you don't. And then your amount is equal to your principal plus, which is shift equal sign, which is next to your backspace on your keyboard, plus your interest, and then enter. And there we go. And then for year 2 equals the same as P5. You copy or drag, copy and paste. Continue to copy paste. So doing it in, whether or not you do it in Google Sheets or in Excel, it is basically the same. The functions are the same, and you will get the exact same numbers because you're using the same numbers. So your math is the same. So if you need help with that, let me know. But following the instructions, even though it might look slightly different than what the pictures are, should get you the results that you need. And that's how you do it on a spreadsheet. Oh, let's get back to our. So hopefully by now you can either do it in an Excel or spreadsheet, a Google Sheets. I'm sure that if you're on a Mac and you're using Numbers, I think is what the program's called, it's going to probably be identical, if only slightly different in terms of finding your menus and using Command C and Command V for copy and paste. If you're a Mac user, then you probably know the differences between a Mac and a PC, as those of us who are Mac users have to live in a world where most people are not Mac users. If you have any questions about that or struggling with it, please let me know. Again, if you don't have a computer, so you can't do these because these are on computers, let me know and we'll figure out an alternative for you. Okay, so the support, there's no support questions in this unit or in this lesson. All of it is a key. You're going to hand all of it in. So you're going to follow those steps that we just went through. You're going to answer the questions. I didn't answer the questions, but you're going to answer the questions that are interpreting the graphs that are the charts that we just made. And then you're going to hand it all in, like both the chart, the spreadsheet that you did, and your answers to the questions that are interpreting that. So there's no support questions. You're just doing all of that to make sure you're understanding how you can use spreadsheet to calculate compound interest. Again, I know I've said it multiple times, say it again. If you do not have access to a computer, that is okay. If you don't have access to Excel or Google Docs, that is okay. Contact me for there's an alternative lesson that you can do so you can still get marks. Don't just skip this lesson. You can still get marks for this lesson, even though you don't have that that access to that program. Or yeah. Okay, so we've got a few minutes, so we can look at on a spreadsheet again. We're going to look at the growth of 20%, $2,000 for 4% for both simple and pound interest for 25 years. So we're going to compare, and we will do it. Sure, we'll do it on here. I'm just going to copy this. For me. Okay, so our principal is going to be $2,000 and our interest rate is 4%. So we're starting with $2,000. Sorry, not 200. $2,000, and you see as I change the numbers, everything else changes. And we're calculating 4%, which is why it is really useful to do it in a spreadsheet. This isn't showing me the numbers because it's running out of room. So I just need to make my cell bigger so that I can actually see the numbers. That's why it was glitching out like that. That's just loading the math. It's just that it was glitching out because it couldn't see it. And this one's asked us to do it for 25 years. So we're going to see if I just selected one. If I just, oh, it doesn't now. It's reading the fact that it's a pattern, and so it's being smart. We're gonna do it for 25 years. And this is, I'm just gonna label it here, compound interest. Now I'm going to do the same. So I'm going to just copy my top line to save time. So in year one, it's the same, right? It's $2,000, 4% interest. We still get our amount the same. Is it the same in year one? But in year two, now how we do it is that we are still having our principal is the same, right? And our interest is still calculated the same. So we're still getting $80 in interest. And what's different is now we're going to add our previous amount plus our new interest rate, our new interest amount. So that's how it's different, is that our principal is always $2,000 in simple interest. This is simple interest. And our amount, we're just adding that $8. We're adding that constant amount each time. So then as I extend this, see, I don't know why last time it was smarter than me, but this time it wasn't smarter than me for my years. I guess maybe didn't have enough of a pattern to know that I wanted it to do that. But that's enough of a pattern now. Nope. See, technology is great when it's helpful, and when it's not helpful, it's annoying. Okay, so we're at 25 years, and in simple interest, adding $80 for every year, we're now at $4,000. We started at $2,000, we're now at $4,000. But for compound interest, we still started at $2,000. We made $80, but then we started making interest on our interest, right? And so now we're at $6,708.21. So this is where we are in 25 years and in compound interest, but in simple interest, we are only at $4,000. So over time, we made $2,708.21 more just by doing compound interest than when we were doing a simple interest. And that's a pretty big difference, that here we doubled it and here we tripled it. So that's pretty significant. So that's here, when does compound interest have the greatest impact? So I want to show you here at the beginning in our first couple of years, like our very first year, it's exactly the same. There's no difference. If we just do it for 1 year, it doesn't matter. We do it for 2 years, okay, $24 difference. 3 years, okay, we're making $53.20 difference. So it's already making a difference, but after 25 years, we've made a huge difference. So it's about longer term investments. So compound interest has the greatest impact over time. So longer longer investments earn a lot more. This also means that when you have a loan, longer loans, you pay a lot more because they're usually have compound, usually have compound interest on loans. So if you have a mortgage for 30 years, you're going to end up paying a lot more interest than if you have a mortgage for 15 years. So that's just something to be aware of. All right, so let's consolidate what we learned today. So our simple interest, we remember that we calculate only on the principal, and this is a constant growth. Our compound interest were calculated on the principal and the accumulated interest. So it's exponential growth. It's a rapid change. So the biggest impact is after the longer periods of time. So you get more interest, you get more money if you have a longer period of time with compound interest than with simple interest, but you also pay more money if you're borrowing money over a longer time with compound interest. We use spreadsheets, both Excel and Google. We went through how to do that. They're very, very similar. If you need help with it, please ask. If you don't have access to a computer, please ask, and I'll give you an alternative lesson. So you should hopefully can at least have been able to walk through how to use the spreadsheet to calculate compound interest. And you can explain the difference between compound and simple interest. That's really, really important. Next lesson, we're going to look, or in future lessons, we're going to look more at compound interest and how to not just use a spreadsheet, but understanding the difference is really important. As always, if you have any questions, please reach out and contact me. My number is 807-737-1488, extension 2209. You can call toll free at 1-800-667-3703. My email address is bronwyn.slate@nnec.on.ca, which is spelled BRONWYN.SLATE. You can connect with me on Facebook at bslate Wahsa, or on YouTube. This lesson will be uploaded and you can review it there at bslate Wahsa. My office hours are Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. So you can connect with me during those hours, or I will reach out to you if you leave me a message. I hope that this was a useful lesson. And again, understanding simple and interest from lesson 7 and lesson 8 are really going to help you to do lesson 9. So, which is a hard one. So I strongly encourage you to spend time with both these lessons so that you're really comfortable before moving on to lesson 9. I hope you have a lovely day. Miigwech.